In the shadowed heart of Middle-earth, a perilous quest unfurls. Frodo Baggins and the valiant Fellowship of the Ring embark upon a treacherous journey to the pits of Mount Doom to destroy the One Ring once and for all. The Uruk-hai and Nazgul, minions of the Dark Lord Sauron, lurk like shadows. Their cruel eyes glint with malice as they threaten the Fellowship, reminding them of the relentless pursuit they face. Can Frodo and his companions maintain their courage, overcome the taunts of the Uruk-hai, and withstand the relentless pursuit of the Nazgul? Or will their noble quest crumble beneath the immense darkness that sought to consume them? Hey everybody, I'm Parker from Game Nerds, and today I'm breaking down Lord of the Rings Adventure to Mount Doom from KOSMOS to help you decide if it's worth adding to your collection. I'll cover the turn summary, target audience, comparisons, and the estimated time commitment. But first, let's get started with the game objective. Now, there are a lot of Lord of the Rings tabletop experiences to be had, but in this rendition, the game is more focused on the journey and thematics rather than heavy strategy. As the title suggests, we find the Fellowship on an adventure to Mount Doom. Since this is a cooperative game, it'll be you and up to 3 of your very own Fellowship to make the best decisions as you guide the adventurers on their path. Ultimately, it's your mission to navigate Frodo and Sam through familiar Tolkien regions before eventually ending up in Mount Doom. Once there, you can take one final longing gaze at the One Ring before finally casting it into the fire.
Cast it into the fire!
The path to Mount Doom is no leisurely stroll, as you'll constantly find yourself face to face with the Uruk-hai and Nazgul, which are dead set on claiming the One Ring for themselves. Fear not, weary traveler, because Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and of course, Merry and Pippin will be there to defend you. Alright, let's talk about how this whole thing plays out. First of all, there are 7 regions to travel through on this beautifully detailed game board. The story kicks off in Rivendell, the birthplace of the Fellowship. Once all of your standees have been placed there, the event track is established. Each region has 7 possible cards that can be placed on the event track, which consists of 6 available spots. These cards are shuffled and chosen at random, which means that for each region, 1 card will always be returned to the box. This allows for a nice little variety in each playthrough. Each turn consists of 2 phases, which are carried out in sequence, the roll phase and the action phase. During the roll phase, you'll be choosing which of the characters to move and make their way to the next region. Orange for Frodo and Sam, purple for Merry and Pip, blue for Aragorn, green for Legolas, and red for Gimli. The goal is to fill the 4 spaces of the dice board with 2 encounter dice and 2 character dice. Once that's done, you'll move into the action phase, in which you'll resolve each of the dice one by one. But it wouldn't be a classic Tolkien adventure if you didn't come across some baddies along the way. Along with the character dice, you'll also be rolling encounter dice. These encounters can be anything from Uruk-hai, Orc-hordes, wargs, and familiar foes like Balrog and Saruman. While that sounds like more than enough to keep you on your toes, you'll also need to watch out for Nazgul. Many event cards and even spaces on the board instruct you to place Nazgul into the Minas Morgul track. If all 9 are present, you immediately lose the game. Ouch. The strategy lies in which characters you choose to move, because only the ones ahead of or on the same space as Frodo and Sam will be able to engage in battle. Let's say, for example, that you've chosen to roll the blue Aragorn die and the red Gimli die alongside the 2 mandatory black event dice. First, you'll choose one of the black dice and place it in the upper left space of the dice board. Before placing the event die on the dice board, you'll want to study what could happen during that encounter. This is usually where the meat of cooperative play kicks in. Everyone pitches in and discusses which encounter they'd like to face. But ultimately, it's the active player's decision. Then, you choose one of the colored character dice and place it in the space beneath it. With these 2 spaces filled, you can move on to the next step of the rolling phase. To fill the other side of the dice board, you'll re-roll the previously unchosen black and colored dice, but you'll also add one of the colored die that wasn't already rolled. You must take the final encounter die, good or bad, and add it to the dice board. Then, choose one of the character dice and place it beneath it. This process of elimination allows you to rein in some control in an otherwise uncontrollable situation. With the dice board filled up, you'll begin the action phase. Start by resolving each die one by one, beginning with the top left event die. If the encounter card has the battle symbol, surprise, you're being attacked. When a bad guy is triggered on the event track, you don't check your attack or strength value, so what do? You guessed it, you roll a die. If you land on the colored symbol matching one of the Fellowship on the same space as or ahead of Frodo and Sam, you win the fight. If not, you slide the One Ring down the courage track equal to the amount of hearts on the encounter card. If at any point you're forced to slide the One Ring beyond the available spaces, you lose. Landing on the Sauron symbol results in an immediate loss, but landing on the Gandalf symbol allows you to discard one of your Gandalf ally cards to immediately win that battle. The events aren't all that bad, of course. Just like in the books and film adaptations, this game provides you with incredibly strong allies to lean on in times of need. For instance, you begin the game with Boromir, which allows you to re-roll the battle die after a failed battle attempt. Another prominent ally is Éowyn, who can completely clear the board of Nazgul in a later portion of the game. There are only 2 allies per region, and they aren't guaranteed to you, so it may be best to hold on to them until you find yourself in a sticky situation. The cycle of rolling dice, filling the dice board, and resolving them continues until you finally make your way to Mount Doom. Once there, Frodo and Sam must trek alone, without the support of the Fellowship. For this portion of the game, you're solely relying on your courage to carry you to victory. Rather than rolling Fellowship or battle dice, you only roll 1 black encounter die. You resolve the corresponding encounter card, and then move Frodo and Sam 1 space forward. Gollum and Shelob are ready to steal chunks of your courage each time you roll, and the One Ring is constantly whispering sweet nothings in your ear. It's brutal. The rulebook is actually quite slim, but it covers a lot of information while also providing tons of visuals when referring to things. On the back, there's even a nice player aid, which details how to resolve some of the more intricate encounter interactions. The final thing I'd like to point out is that while this is marketed as a cooperative game, it also plays exceptionally well as a solo experience. Rather than passing the dice board around the table, simply keep rolling after all 4 dice have been resolved. If you do choose to play this game with a group, be aware that this game sets itself up for an alpha gamer to step in and call all the shots. I'm looking at you, Spencer.
What did you say?
So, having said all that, you should have a pretty good sense of who the target audience is for Adventure to Mount Doom. Of course, any fan of Lord of the Rings should enjoy this game. The artwork on every inch of the board does a great job at maintaining the immersion. The iconic locations do a lot of heavy lifting, and each encounter card feels true to the nature of the characters from the stories. The publisher suggests an age rating of 10 and up, and after playing a few times, that feels appropriate. While there are some scary images on a few of the cards, the overall feel of the game is rather lighthearted and casual. The biggest determining factor here is the constant dice rolling and luck-driven elements of the game. If you or your playgroup prefers a more controlled and strategic experience, this may not be the game for you. On the other hand, if you've been looking for a reason to bust out your dice tray and call in a favor from Lady Luck, this should make a great addition to your collection. Finally, let's break down the estimated time investment for Adventure to Mount Doom. You can expect to spend about 3.5 minutes setting up the game and another 4 to 5 minutes for a first-time rules explanation. Depending on the state of the game, you can expect each player to spend about 2 minutes rolling the dice, discussing with the group, and resolving the action phases. As far as actual gameplay, the time can vary rather significantly. While the box states a playtime of 50 minutes, some games can end within the first 20 minutes due to poor rolls and being overtaken by Nazgul or loss of courage. Though a successful game can last anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes depending on a solo or cooperative playthrough. Whatever the case may be, you can expect to carve out about an hour to set up, teach, play, and put away Adventure to Mount Doom. If you've always wanted to become a member of the Fellowship, travel through the wondrous land of Middle-earth, and fight alongside the likes of Aragorn and Legolas, this game checks that box. If Lord of the Rings Adventure to Mount Doom sounds like something you'd be interested in, you can find it and many more Lord of the Rings games and accessories at GameNerds.com. If you found this video helpful, consider leaving a like. And hey, if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tabletop gaming content. Once again, my name is Parker, and I'll see you next time.